The auto-rickshaw sputtered to a halt, its engine coughing in protest as the night pressed in from all sides. The city's usual cacophony faded into a hush, broken only by the distant hum of traffic and the soft whir of prayer flags in the breeze. The headlights cut through the fog, illuminating a world that felt both familiar and utterly transformed by darkness. At the entrance to Majnu Tilla, Delhi's little Tibet, the air was thick with anticipation. The neighborhood, usually bustling with laughter and chatter, now seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something unseen to stir. Tara stepped out, vlogging camera in hand, excitement and fear mingling in her chest. She could feel her heart pounding, the thrill of the unknown mixing with a twinge of anxiety. Every shadow seemed deeper, every sound sharper, as if the night itself was alive and watching her. The narrow lanes of Delhi's little Tibet beckoned, promising stories the city's boulevards never could. Here, the alleys twisted and turned, each corner hiding secrets, each doorway whispering tales of the past. The vibrant prayer flags overhead seemed to guide her deeper, their colors vivid even in the dim light. She'd come chasing legends, spirits said to linger after dark. Locals spoke in hushed tones about apparitions glimpsed in the fog, about footsteps echoing long after the streets emptied. For Tara, these stories were more than just urban myths. They were the lifeblood of her channel, the mysteries she longed to unravel. Her channel, Tara's Terrors, needed something real, something that would set her apart from the countless other ghost hunters online. Tonight, she hoped, would be the night she finally captured proof that the supernatural wasn't just a story. Prayer flags fluttered above, the air thick with the scent of butter lamps and frying laughing. The golden glow of lamps cast flickering shadows on the walls, while the sizzle of street food mingled with the distant sound of chanting from a nearby monastery. Every sense was heightened, every detail etched into her memory. Tara filmed her first steps, capturing vibrant murals and wary glances from shopkeepers. The art on the walls told stories of exile and hope, while the people's eyes seemed to hold secrets they weren't ready to share. She felt both like an intruder and a witness, documenting a world that thrived in the shadows. She stopped for momos, the spicy aroma drawing her in. As she bit into the steaming dumplings, she struck up a conversation with the vendor, her voice low and curious. "Have you ever seen a ghost here?" she asked, hoping for a story, a clue, anything to feed her quest. He only smiled, secrets hidden behind his eyes, as if he knew more than he would ever say. The night was just beginning, and Tara sensed that the real stories were waiting for her, somewhere in the maze of lanes ahead. As dusk fell, Majnu Tilla's energy shifted. Lively lanes grew hushed, shadows stretching long. Tara's camera captured the twilight, the air now heavy with incense and the hum of evening prayers. Locals avoided her questions about folklore, their silence more telling than words. She lingered by the monastery, monks lighting butter lamps, peace at odds with the stories she sought. Doubt flickered, but curiosity won. She was here to uncover what the city tried to hide. The wary glances confirmed it. Secrets waited for those willing to listen. Tara's rented flat was modest, but the ornate mirror on the wall was anything but. Its heavy carved frame and cloudy glass seemed out of place. An elderly monk brought her fruit, his gaze lingering on the mirror. Some things hold memories. Don't look too long after dark. Tara dismissed the warning, but curiosity drew her back. The mirror warped her reflection, making her seem older, unfamiliar. She set up her camera to film it overnight, standard practice for her investigations. As she drifted to sleep, the monk's words echoed in her mind. The mirror would be the centerpiece of her story. Morning brought anticipation. Tara reviewed the night's footage, expecting nothing, but at 3 a.m., the mirror glitched. A woman in red, face blurred, flickered over her sleeping form. Heart pounding, she shared the clip with her followers. Subtle, but chilling. The mirror woman was born. That evening, Tara filmed herself asking the mirror for a sign. On playback, her reflection's mouth stayed shut as her voice echoed. A cold chill crept in. This was no camera trick. The haunting had begun. Days blurred as Tara's obsession with the mirror deepened. Her reflection began to rebel, raising the wrong hand, holding a neutral face while Tara smiled. The mirror woman grew distinct, her features sharpening, her eyes cold. One afternoon, Tara froze mid-brush, but her reflection continued, then smiled, a cruel, independent grin. Panic replaced curiosity. This was no longer content, it was real. Tara lay awake, haunted by the reflection's gaze. The line between her world and the mirror's was vanishing. The mirror woman was learning, growing stronger. The haunting spread. Her phone, laptop, even windows showed the mirror woman's face. Glitches appeared in her vlogs, the ghost behind her, or reflections smiling on their own. New, impossible video files appeared, footage of Tara sleeping filmed from the mirror's perspective. Sleep brought nightmares of being trapped in the glass, the ghost living her life. The tools Tara used to hunt the ghost now turned against her. Her channel felt like a cage, the mirror woman a predator on the other side. Escape seemed impossible. Terror overwhelmed Tara. Her heart pounded in her chest, every shadow in her apartment seeming to stretch and twist with sinister intent. The once familiar corners of her home now felt alien, haunted by a presence she could neither see nor understand. Each night the air grew colder, and the silence pressed in, broken only by the faint, inexplicable whispers that seemed to echo from the walls. Tara's hands trembled as she clutched her phone, desperate for any connection to the outside world, any reassurance that she wasn't losing her mind. Her vlogs became pleas for help, her voice raw with fear, her eyes darting to the corners of the room, as if expecting something to emerge from the darkness. She begged her viewers for advice, for comfort, for someone to believe her story. But the more she spoke, the more isolated she felt, as if the act of sharing her terror only made it more real, more inescapable. In a desperate attempt to regain control, Tara tried to cover the mirror, the source of her nightmares. She draped it with heavy cloths, taped the edges, and even moved furniture in front of it, hoping to block out whatever evil lurked within. But the sense of dread only intensified, as if the spirit was angered by her efforts to hide it away. One night, as she approached the shrouded glass, her reflection screamed silently, mouth open in a soundless wail, eyes wide with terror. Tara was paralyzed, unable to move or look away, her own fear mirrored and magnified by the apparition trapped within the glass. Desperate for answers, Tara sought out the only person she thought might understand, a Buddhist monk known for his wisdom and compassion. She traveled across the city, her nerves frayed, clutching a trembling hope that someone could help her break free from the haunting. The monk listened patiently to her story, his eyes grave. He handed her a blessed relic, a small object said to ward off evil spirits. "It may protect you," he said softly, his voice heavy with warning. "But the spirit is tied to memory, and now, to you. Its pain and longing have found a new vessel. You must be strong, for the battle is not just with the ghost, but with your own fear." The monk explained the legend of the Mirror Woman, a tale whispered for generations. She was once a woman in red, radiant and full of life, but her world was shattered by grief. Betrayed and abandoned, she wandered the earth, her sorrow so deep it seeped into the very glass of her mirror, trapping her spirit between worlds. Now, the Mirror Woman seeks a life to replace her own, drawn to those who are vulnerable, who carry their own pain. Tara listened, chills running down her spine, realizing she had become the spirit's latest target. Armed with the relic and a fragile sense of hope, Tara returned home. She clutched the object tightly, whispering prayers under her breath, determined to reclaim her life from the darkness that had invaded it. For a moment, hope flickered. She watched as the ghostly figure recoiled from the relic's presence, its form wavering and retreating into the shadows. Tara seized the opportunity, hastily packing her belongings, desperate to escape before the spirit could return. But as she prepared to leave, she caught sight of her reflection in her laptop screen. It was no longer her own face, but a twisted, mocking smile. Her reflection holding a relic too, as if the haunting had followed her into every surface, every shadow. The realization hit her. The spirit was everywhere, and there was no simple escape. Tara's hope crumbled as she cowered in the darkness, understanding at last that there was nowhere left to hide. The haunting was not just in the mirror, but in every reflection, every memory, every corner of her life. The relic's protection faded. The mirror woman twisted Tara's every emotion, corrupting her image in every reflection. Tara covered every surface, turning her flat into a dark cave, but the silence was just as terrifying. The ghost appeared in shop windows, on video calls, even in Tara's mind. She was becoming a ghost in her own life, the mirror woman taking her place. In desperation, Tara uncovered the antique mirror. She had to see, had to know. The inescapable gaze was no longer just in the glass. It was inside her. Tara stood frozen before the ancient mirror, the relic gripped tightly in her trembling hands. The room was thick with silence, broken only by the frantic beating of her heart. Shadows danced along the peeling wallpaper, and the air felt charged, as if the very walls were holding their breath. She could feel the weight of countless eyes upon her, the presence of something unseen pressing in from all sides. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but she knew there was no turning back now. This was the moment she had dreaded, and the one she had been drawn to, inexorably, since the first night she glimpsed the mirror woman. At first, the glass showed only her own reflection, wide-eyed and pale, her breath fogging the surface. But then, as if summoned by her fear, the mirror woman materialized beside her, no longer a fleeting shadow, but a solid, chilling presence. The entity's eyes locked with Tara's, and for a heartbeat, it was impossible to tell which of them was more real. The room seemed to tilt, reality bending around the two figures. Tara's terror was mirrored perfectly in the apparition's face, but the mirror woman's smile was cold, knowing, and impossibly wide. Suddenly, a notification pinged on Tara's laptop. Her trembling fingers hovered over the mouse as she saw it. A new video had appeared on her channel, uploaded without her knowledge. The title was simple, chilling. She's here. The thumbnail showed the mirror, but the reflection was wrong, warped and grinning. It was as if the mirror woman herself had reached through the glass and into the digital world, leaving a mark for all to see. The video began with shaky handheld footage. The camera panned from the mirror to Tara, who sat on the floor, knees drawn to her chest, rocking back and forth. She whispered frantic words, barely audible, as if reciting a desperate prayer or trying to ward off the inevitable. The camera swung back to the mirror, where her reflection no longer matched her movements. Instead, the reflection smiled, lifted a hand, and waved slowly, mockingly, as if greeting an old friend. The real Tara remained motionless, her eyes wide with terror, while her mirrored self seemed to come alive with sinister intent. Then, the reflection leaned forward, its mouth stretching into an unnatural grin. In Tara's own voice, but with a chilling echo, it spoke directly to the camera. "Thank you for watching. Now I can see you too." The words sent a shiver through anyone who heard them, as if the mirror woman's gaze had found a new target. The video ended abruptly, the screen flickering to black, but the sense of being watched lingered in the silence that followed. Across the world, viewers sat transfixed, unable to look away from their screens. As the video played, their monitors began to reflect their own faces, but with subtle, sinister differences. A flicker of movement, a shadow that shouldn't be there, a smile that didn't belong. The curse was no longer confined to Tara's apartment or her ancient mirror. With every view, every share, the mirror woman's reach grew. Each screen became a new portal, a new mirror, and every viewer a potential victim. When authorities finally entered Tara's flat, they found it eerily silent and empty. The mirror stood in its usual place, now looking perfectly ordinary. No sign of Tara, no trace of the supernatural. It was as if she had simply vanished, leaving behind only the relic and the chilling video that continued to spread online. The room felt colder, emptier, as if something vital had been taken from it. But for Tara's followers, the nightmare was just beginning. In the darkness of their own rooms, a faint red flicker would sometimes appear on their screens, and if they looked closely, they might catch the glint of a smile or the flash of cold, knowing eyes. The mirror woman's story was no longer just a legend.
Haunting residence, where every shadow tells a story. Subscribe for more true horror stories, and don't forget to like, comment, and share if you dare. Follow us on social media for updates. Until next time, let the darkness guide you.